My name is Yopam.
My name is Sagi Isaac. So today we're here to talk about ADUs. ADU? Okay, so ADU stands for Accessory Dwelling Unit, or basically it's an extra unit that is independent, we can live in. So there are different types in California, especially in LA and the greater LA area. Different types of ADUs. You might hear JADU, DADU. It's fancy names to just say like it's connected or disconnected. And a lot of homeowners can build one in their side yard, backyard, and it's a great source of income. It's a great source to create more space.
Yeah, it becomes very, very popular today in the last few years, I think.
And why is it more popular?
Basically, California and LA County specifically become very packed. You don't have so many open lands here. You don't have huge areas to build new houses. And plus, the rent is extremely expensive here. In general, LA, it's extremely expensive. You buy one bottle of water for $10. I believe and I'm saying it as an investor, it's great additional income. Today, in the economy of today, to build a house, to buy a house in California, in LA, it's so difficult. It's almost impossible for someone with, average salary to take the mortgage, to put the down payment, to pay this high interest rate of 7 and 8%. And this is a great way that you have already your own property. So either if you have a space in the backyard and you can build really detached ABU, but the value for money that you invest versus the amount of income you can get, it's great.
So I will take a look at like my clients. We do, each of us does manage approximately 30 to 40 projects of these a year. I can tell you across the board, one, extra space. I have a lot of people still work from home or during COVID open businesses and I just did an ADU. She creates art, and she was sick of having that stuck in her house because she's like, my husband is always complaining. I leave mess everywhere. And we built the ADU for that. So there's a bedroom there, but we decided to have open space so she can basically have her shop there. And then I have another client that they are an elderly couple, and their son wanted to move closer. He wanted to spend the last few years being able to help them and just be around. So, as you said, they couldn't afford buying in their neighborhood a house for $2 billion for the son to be close. Building the ADU was an amazing thing because today we built a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom ADU, and the son moved in there. And that was amazing for them. And the third thing is, like you said, ACA. I had people who were now starting to think about retirement. They're like, hey, I'm going to lose my source of income. So they build the ADU. And it depends on which area in LA you are. You can rent a 1-bedroom anywhere from $2,000 to $3,500. Those are the main 3 reasons why people build ADUs.
Yes.
What's the process for an ADU? I call you, you come, and then what happens?
Yes. So the way that it's work, we obviously we come for the first meeting. It's basically will be an introduction meeting for us to see the property, to see that even you able to do that.
Okay.
Maybe they do have already an ADU and you can't build another one. Maybe they don't have the space. Maybe, I don't know. We need to.
How do I know that?
So the way to know that is as a owner, you can know it yourself. You can go to the city, you can do the research yourself. It's a little bit more complicated. There is today, not only us, a lot of companies that will come for free, will come, will meet with you, will do the introduction meeting, and will do this research for you. So this is what we do. So we are coming to the homeowner, we see the property, we see what is the size they want to build, if it's 1 bedroom, if it's studio, if it's 2 bedroom, if it's 3 bedrooms, if it's an ADU, the detached, if it will be inside the garage. We understand the needs, and from our many, many years of experience, we actually will go to the homeowner and suggest him what will fulfill his wants and needs. Now, the process of that is really depend on which city specific. Now, maybe most of our audience will be from the area of LA County, LA City, but there is even a big difference between LA County to LA City.
Okay.
Today, LA City consider the best place to do this ADU because the permitting is extremely fast.
What's the longest permit ever took you outside of LA?
Outside of LA, it's actually I have still in Oxnard a permit that we wait for a garage conversion, and it's over 1 year. So there is permitting that will take 1.5 years. There is permitting in the mountains in Hollywood Hills or other places like that it can take even longer.
But that's important. I want to hold on this for a second. That's important for the viewers to understand that having that knowledge is so super important for you to one, plan your timeline. Because a lot of people are like, oh, I want to build EDU. I want it done by the summer. Well, you might not even get permits by the summer. So having that partner that understands, comes and tell you like, okay, first of all, let's be realistic. Okay, let's come. A lot of contractors will come in and tell you like, you know what? We can get permit in 2 months. Construction is 4 months. You're like, hey, I'm going to enjoy this. I'm going to enjoy the pool and I have guests in, and then you don't even get permits by the time the summer ends.
Right.
So for homeowners, as we're talking about this process, I think one of the best things is not only find someone who's knowledgeable, is also find someone who will share the information as is. Yes. One or trick of the trades for all of our viewers is have contractors show you permits and how long they took. You can actually find it. Very important because you can see when we submit it, where we got the permit, and then you know exactly how much permit it will take. If a contractor is not willing to give it to you, then he's probably finessing the timeline to, and sometimes it's really willing to sign. And sometimes it's not necessarily, it could be from good intention of just like lack of experience, like even for architect, we have clients that came to us they go to an architect to pull the permits, but maybe this architect didn't have an experience with a specific city or a specific county. And that can happen.
I think, he pulled many permits, for example, in LA City, and he's assuming that in LA County it's the same. But for example, in LA City, yes, it is possible to get the permits for ADU in 2 months. It is possible. In maybe even faster. It is depend. It's depend if it's LADWP. It's depend if it's Edison. There is many variation for that. But for example, in LA County, it's different volume months. It's like 8 months. It's also depending many things. So for us, it's really important, and for the audience that here, when you are facing this project that you want to do, it's really important to understand timing, because timing is money.
Sorry, we thought about that because that's also important. You touched about that. We were talking about timing. Timing is key for pricing. So anyone who wants to build an EDU probably did a little bit of research. And if you go to Google, you'll see that you can build an EDU for $20,000. It's as easy as that. And then if you go to ChatGPT and you ask hard questions, they're like, oh, you're going to be paying $500 a square. There's so much unknown in this process. And one of the reasons it's unknown, not because contractors flex in their pricing, it's materials. That's the key point. Guys who are watching this right now, you need to understand materials. It's what's gonna, forgive my French, it's gonna bite in it. Because if you don't plan this correctly and you don't understand your timeline correctly, between the tariffs, between the fires in Southern California, that 13,000 homes are either sold or being rebuilt, like prices go up all the time. I had a client that started plans 4 months ago and then didn't want to sign the full agreement, so we couldn't lock in materials. He said, don't worry, I got this. If prices go up, they go up. But how much? This is that kind of burst the bubble. People always say, like, how much are they actually going to go up? That there's being naive and say, like, yeah, prices go up, what, 5%? 5% is going to be an extra $10,000. I can manage that.
Mm-hmm.
Pricing went up on this project almost $30,000 more.
Yeah.
And that because lumber went up, copper went up, all the metals, labor went up 3%. Labor was the smallest thing that went up. Our profit didn't change. So That's why it's important to plan. So when it comes to understanding the permitting, that's what's going to dictate when you're going to start building.
Correct. Correct.
A lot of time, customers operate out of fear.
Mm-hmm.
They sign with a contract quick because people are making them scared, like, oh, if you don't sign right now, you're going to lose a great promotion that we have. And it's across a lot of industries. Like my wife wanted to get a closet from a big company. We're not going to say their name. And she's like, just today happens to be that I had a 10% discount that ends at 5 p.m. today. Okay, so like a lot of the times people will use it on that, right? Exactly, you know? And so a lot of people operate from fear because fear usually is being generated from not understanding. And yes, if you sit with me and said, Isaac, our price is gonna go up and are they going to change? What are we answer to? I'm gonna tell you, listen, if you don't lock materials, or I've had clients before who are like, okay, how much are the materials? $150,000? I'll pay $150,000. Let's have the materials in my garage.
Okay. Okay.
Okay,
Great.
so that's the like.
What is our solutions for a client that he have a budget, and of course things can change. Always we recommend
You want to stay in the budget no matter what.
correct. What is his solution? And he's willing to put some money in up front. And what is his solution to hold the budget as close as possible?
So first, let's go the most primitive, straight to the point way. Buy your materials.
Okay.
Buy your materials.
He need to buy or
The client can buy it directly or pay us to buy it for him. Doesn't matter. Buy the materials. I have a lot of clients. They're like, okay, let me think about it. A storage unit will cost me $800 a month.
this is expensive, but
Expensive.
I'm gonna rent some room in.
Exactly. I'm gonna order all my materials. I'm gonna take a warehouse for a year. It's gonna cost me extra $10,000, $12,000. But the lumber is lumber. You have it. It's not gonna change because once you have the draft from the architect, you more or less know how much lumber you're going to need, how much drywall you're going to need, and so on. So that's like straight to the point, you know. But you need to have cash money for it.
Correct.
Okay. Correct. So not a lot of people have like all the cash just to throw in an ADU. So we'll talk about what you do when you don't have the cash. So that's the straightforward part. The second option that you have is lock in the rates. How do you lock in the rates? Not a lot of contractors in California and LA do this, but many contractors, we do it for sure, but a lot of contractors starting to do it. The second you decide you want to move forward with us and we do the full agreement, when we send the paperwork to our suppliers and we lock in the rates. So if prices go up 5% tomorrow, a day after you sign with us, you put the down payment, we have the deposit for the materials. It doesn't affect you. Okay. And how does it work? Let's understand for a second, because this is, people don't understand. They're like, okay, so what do you get out of it? Let's think about this way. Let's go back to COVID. In COVID, prices on lumber went up 300%. People got their permits and they're like, okay, it's going to cost me an extra $100,000 to build this. I can't afford it. Cancel their project.
We're really gonna admit that, yeah.
Wasted money for the permits. Yeah, because permits can range from like, if you're taking someone on the cheaper end, $12,000, and you can take it something super expensive, $50,000. But every dollar you put towards it, you want it to be the end result of building it into you. So what we started doing during COVID, what happened is, think about it. You don't make your money because our money sits, our profit is in the construction. So we need to build something in order to make money. So if you cancel the project, we don't really make money. The suppliers didn't make money because you need to buy 3 pallets of cement and metal and drywall, and you cancel the project, the suppliers don't make any money, and the client doesn't get the project, or the client needs to come up with more money out of pocket. So what we started doing is, and this is the brilliancy of doing this, the second you put a deposit and you lock in the rates with us, we send a small amount to the suppliers. They're going to use that small amount for their cash flow. Okay? So now they have a 0 interest finance by the client. They're going to buy your materials.
Yeah, got a loan for 0%.
Exactly. And then if you cancel, the deposit of the materials will come back to you. But they already bought the materials at a cheaper rate. And guess what? The next client is going to buy it at market rate. So if you continue,
They will make their money.
exactly. So if you continue with your project, you're good because your prices are locked in with us. So if it's $400,000, let's say some prices go up, you're going to finish at 410. Still a good position to be in. So if you still go on with the project, we make our profit as a construction company. You get the project as the client. The suppliers are getting the material sold, and the cash flow keep going, and everybody's happy. Yes, and those are the two ways to really make sure your prices don't go pop. If any contractor is telling you, "Don't worry, let's start with plans," start the work. Once we have the permit to price the project, they're either inexperienced because they don't know to expect the market pricing, or they know the market is going to change. But guess what? After you put the down payment and you start paying them for their work, they'll come back and they're basically, again, forgive my French, they're holding you by the nuts. So we understand the process of, like, we talk about what you need to check, and then permitting. Let's say I decide to move forward with you. We cover the permitting. What's next?
So we are a design build company. So you have the option either to come with us with the permits, but for those who don't have the permits, that doesn't start the process, we will deal with everything. So the first thing that we do is basically starting with the architect plans, engineer plans, and design. This will provide you the full set of plans that we will deal with the city, submit for them to get the permits. This is all the structural, how the foundation will be, framing will be, how the electric, plumbing, all those, for most of the homeowners, boring stuff. And in addition, we will deal with the design. The design is more the visualize, how it will be, what type of floor you will have, what type of cabinets you will have, the countertop quartz or marble.
Okay, so why is it important to get a design?
The reason that is important to get the design is for couple of reasons. Actually, one of the most important, in my opinion, is budget and money. You can finish basically to buy the finished material, which the finished material is everything that not appear on the plans. On the plans, you have all the structure. They don't tell you if to put a vinyl floor or a hard block. They don't tell you what type of cabinets to put. So that will help the homeowner to price out his budget. If his budget for finished material is 10,000, 20,000, 100,000. And in addition, it will help you to save time, because from the moment you get the permits, if only then, or later when you start the construction, only then start as a homeowner to figure out what finished material to buy, it can take a lot of time and a lot of money.
So that's why we see a lot of the times where you have a project that should take 4 months, it takes 8 months instead.
Yes, because the wait for materials. I had a project that the customer were responsible. They didn't hire us for the design, and he orders special windows, and it took 3 months for the windows to cut, and we couldn't pass the framing inspection because we didn't have the windows. So this is super important.
So what is covered in the design? Let's dive into this.
So in the design, it's depend on the package that the customer choose. There is from the most basic package that we will just create the 3D rendering and suggestion for finished material, to the most luxury finished material that you will have your own designer go with you to showrooms, spend time with you, show you hundreds of samples from each material, and get the really rendering and get visualization of exactly how each room will look. And it will save you time and money, because you don't start construction and hope it will look good. You actually can see that, and it will bring close 99% of the actually look, the actually finish the cabinet, the backs, the rational.
And to tell like the viewers again, like if you are considering not doing a design, this is something that will be very, very crucial for you, because then everybody that is touching your project is looking at the same thing, and that everybody's aligned with how this product needs to look. So a lot of our clients come to us and they say, "Hey, I don't have 200,000 or 500,000 just to pay cash on a EDU, but I still want to do an EDU." You're in our company, you're the master of finances. So in a few minutes, just explain to us, so what can those homeowners do if they cannot afford paying all cash for this ADU?
Perfect. So yes, a lot of clients, either there is a lot of clients, by the way, that have money and they still want to do finance.
Okay.
And I can tell you about myself. I know that you, many of your investments, even
I finance everything.
yeah. And there is great benefits of that, because you are not risking your money, especially in an unknown situation, which is even if you say you know the best, in how long exactly will get the permit and when it will finish to build, still there is sometimes unknown. And in a case like that, you don't want to risk your money and you want to be able to keep your cash at your pockets. So, okay. For owner that want to do finance, either they don't have the funds, either they just want that. What we are doing, we have a full finance department that we are doing an application for the customer. We are checking his property, what is the value of his house, how much is still owed for the house, his credit score, basically see what will be his best solution. And there is many solutions. So there is many options from construction loans to balloon loans for 12 months with even 0% APR. If maybe it's a flip or just is expecting to get money in 12 months, or even know that in 12 months he will rent and he will have the opportunity to a HELOC for customers that don't owe for the house so much and they can take another second mortgage on the house. Today, if you want the low, from my experience, the lowest monthly payment, HELOC will be the key. Okay. Because you can take second mortgage, you can spread it even for 30 years. The interest rate today for a HELOC, it will be anywhere from 6% to 7.5%, something like that, which is mean that, I don't know, for $500,000, maybe the monthly payment will be around $3,500, something like that. Don't catch me on the word. We will need to calculate that. But most of the people actually use a construction loans, and for ADU garage conversion, I can give an example, a short example for what I do for most of our clients. If it's just a garage conversion, usually it will be in the area of $150,000. You can finance that for 20 years. The interest rate, for example, will be around $799, $899. Your monthly payment will be between $1,200 to $1,400 per month. And the amazing thing about that, because most of the places in LA, as you say, the rent will start from $2,000 and can go all the way for $3,000, $3,500, which is mean that from day one, you can save money or even make money. It means the monthly payment will be in the area of $1,300 and your actually rent will come in minimum of $2,000.
Now, positive cash flow from day one.
Positive cash flow from day one. And another thing that a lot of my clients do, we finish the garage conversion or the ADU, they love it so much. If it's a young couple or even a single person, they move there and rent in the house for $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 and make even more. So I love finance, and even though sometimes I will have the cash to do the investment, I will still do the finance to be positive from day one and not wait for 7 years to recoup the investment, or 8 years or 5 years or whatever. So this is what we're doing, and for each, it's important to say that for each house and for each individual is specific approval, because it's depend on many
we need to run, like, that's what the viewers need to understand is financing is fluctuating. It's one can get approved for one climates and not to the other, and vice versa. But it's not, that actually is an easy part in our business to help find that fund, because California has shortage of homes. So a lot of companies are gearing towards giving you money to get it done.
Yes.
So that's highly recommended. I built all my ADUs with financing, as I said. So, but I also want to mention that even though we talk about it as an easy thing to build an ADU, it's not very easy on the feeling of the homeowner. You need to be prepared for something like this because it's tough. It takes time. You're looking at 4 months. People are in your backyard, sometimes playing music, sometimes leaving some trash. Like, I think this needs to be very informative to homeowners to understand it's not an easy peasy walk in the park. It's noisy, it's dirty, it's dusty, it's people will show up. Some people will be early in the morning. Some people will show up late in the afternoon.
Some people will not show up sometimes.
They'll show up sometimes, but you need to be prepared for that. We say that it's easy because we experience this on a daily basis. From a homeowner point of view, when I built my house, it was very hard for my wife. Okay, when I built my ADU, she was like, it's so dusty and it's noisy and people are coming in and coming out and shutting down our water and shutting down electrical, all these things. That's why it's important when you choose a contractor to get aligned with your expectation. That's why I always say there's a rough part in the building an ADU, rough framing, rough electrical, rough plumbing, and rough on the client. Okay, that's why we call it the rough, because it's hard, because these are where we get the smallest corrections, and now we need to wait a week. We could fix the correction in 15 minutes, but the inspector had 20 other inspection, he left. Now for a week, nobody's going to show up on your property. The clients are going to be worried here. So that's why communication is key, to tell the client, we're not going to be here for a week, is we're waiting for the inspector to have you. Again, everybody, I want to thank you for joining us for the short time we had together. I'm Isaac, and this is Yotam with Royal Construction. I hope we gave you some good information about your ADU. And if you have any other questions, because there are a lot of questions about ADUs, don't be afraid to reach out, and we'll be able to help you with whatever you need.